What is up, my dudes and ladies, I guess, some of you are. So, since my last video, it's been a while. It has been a while. I apologize about that. But, I've been busy, honestly. Haven't really made making these videos much of a priority as I wanted to begin with, but I will. I've been getting y'all's emails, getting y'all's comments. I think I've responded to every single one. There really hasn't been that many, but a lot of you guys are kind of asking the same question. You're wanting to know, what is OCS like? I could give you a really in-depth, daily schedule of what we did at OCS if I had my right in the rein, but unfortunately I don't, because I just moved out to college and I signed a lease to an apartment that I was supposed to move in today, actually, and it's not finished built yet. So I left all of my crap at home, including my right in the rein, all my OCS stuff still at home. But whenever I get that back, I will be making another video for those of you who want it. That will be a much more in-depth, day-to-day schedule. What is OCS really like? Like, what are you doing when you wake up? What are you doing throughout the day until you go back to sleep? I have all that written down, so I think that'll be a pretty good video for you guys to look at before you ship out. But the purpose of this video, again, kind of like my last one, is going to be just a general overview, right? So my last one was just a general overview of what the PLC program looks like, and this one is just going to be an overview of what your time at OCS might look like. The reason I'm doing this, one, is because several of you guys have asked me in the comments, and when I went this past summer, it was 7 weeks because we had to do 2 weeks of quarantine, and that was a whole mess. But I just went for my first 6 weeks, is what you normally call it. And there were some guys there who had no idea what OCS was going to be like. Now, before that gets taken out of context, I would argue that unless you're a prior, there is absolutely no preparing for what you're going to experience at OCS. I thought I had exhausted all of my resources. Like, I freaking knew what I was walking into, I thought. And I usually kind of underestimate myself. I don't usually think I know everything or think I got it all together, but I thought I had a pretty good idea what this was going to be like. And it took me about 3 hours on the first day to understand, holy crap, I don't know anything. But, so yeah, needless to say, I'm making this video because you guys have asked me. And secondly, there was a guy in my platoon who was thinking about dropping out. And I went up and I asked him, I was like, hey, why are you dropping out, bro? And he said, this is exactly what he said. I thought this was going to be fun. That kind of shocked me, bro, because no, OCS, it was the most miserable experience of my life. I didn't expect it to be that bad, but I also did not expect it to be fun. This kid what's the word? This kid thought it was going to be like a regular summer camp where we went outside and learned how to tie knots or some Boy Scout stuff like that. And he was in for quite a rude awakening. So I'm making this video to prevent that for you guys, future candidates. So anyways, we'll get on with it. The first several days when you get to OCS, you're going to be pretty much just getting your gear issue. You'll get there and you're still going to be in your civilian attire for the first several days. You're not going to get your camis until about 3 or 4 days after you've been to Brownfield. You'll get your rucksack, you'll get all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to go over all of it. But you'll get all your gear in the first several days. Basically, what you need to use the first several days for, I'm assuming if you're watching this video that you've already gone to at least 1 year of college. So, and if you haven't, that's totally fine. But basically, the first several days is kind of more like your orientation, right? So when you go to college, you sign up. You tour the campus. There's your orientation leader kind of takes you around and shows you how everything works, what you need to do, where you need to go, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be your first several days while you're at OCS. The people that are going to be taking you from place to place, telling you what to do, they're not going to be screaming in your face. They're not going to be yelling at you to go do dumb stuff, okay? They're just regular staff members that are working at Brownfield at the time, and they're going to show you basically how OCS runs, how the machine operates. And so you need to pay really, really close attention to the daily schedule. You need to go ahead and be writing down notes. Hey, we wake up at this time. What's the first thing we do? You need to be paying really close attention to that stuff in the first several days, because after those first 3, 4, 5 days, somewhere around there, that's when you get picked up by your sergeant instructors. And that's when crap really hits the fan, okay? Because at that point, the problem is everybody realizes that nobody knows what they're doing, and it's just a horrible experience because you're going 100 miles an hour. Nobody stops to wait on you. Nobody stops to really show you how to do anything. So that's why those first several days are absolutely crucial to start figuring out and paying attention as much as you can to how the machine operates. And that's what they're going to refer to it as. At OCS, the platoon is a machine, all right? Everything works and coordinates with every other part. So you need to be paying really, really close attention to that. Your sergeant instructors, they're the ones who are going to be getting up in your face, yelling at you. They're the ones going to be telling you to run to whatever tree line, telling you to sit down, stand up. They're just going to be giving you like really stupid, petty crap to do all the time. And if you learn one thing at OCS, it's that nothing makes any sense, okay? If you find yourself questioning everything all the time like I do, I'm a super analytical person, it's going to hurt you at OCS. And they design it this way. It's not supposed to make sense. What they'll do is they'll tell you, we have 10 minutes to set up the tents. And then you'll spend 15 minutes running back and forth to the tree line, right? But we don't have time. So you'll start to pick up on stuff like that, and you're just going to have to deal with it. That they design it, you can't tell me that they don't like block out certain times of the day to just screw with people, screw with the candidates. But so if you can't put up with people telling you what to do all the time, and people like just playing mind games with you, screwing around with you all the time, you got to be able to put up with that super petty, annoying stuff all the time. On top of being completely sleep deprived and physically fatigued, right? So it's not just, at OCS, it's not just one thing. You're always going to be tired. You don't get sleep, and you PT pretty much every morning. You're always going to be hungry, okay? So those 3 things alone are going to put a lot of people into a bad mood. On top of that, you have your sergeant instructors who are just giving you hell and making your life absolutely miserable. And they do all of this on purpose, all right? So you need to go in expecting it to happen, and you need to go in willing to adapt to it. Don't be thinking that it's wrong. Don't be thinking that, there's a better way to do it, because it's designed like this for a reason. What you need to do is just adapt and recognize the fact that the Marine Corps has been training officers the same way for decades and decades, and it works, okay? Because the Marine Corps is the world's finest fighting force. So when you wake up in the morning and you don't have any sleep, and the first thing that happens is somebody gets in your face and starts yelling at you because you did something when you were told not to do it, all right, that's another thing. If nobody told you to put your left sock on, you don't put it on. All right? You just, if somebody doesn't tell you to do something, I don't care if it makes sense or not, you just don't do it. It goes the other way around too. If somebody tells you to do something, you do exactly what they say, nothing more, nothing less. That's just how it works. I went into it thinking, You know, they're going to be looking for initiative, you know, looking for people who can put the puzzle pieces together. If they tell me to, I don't know, if they tell me to get dressed, then I'm going to put all of my clothes on as fast as I can. But that's not how it works. They're going to tell you, put your boots on, put your blouse on, put your trousers on, and you do everything in order. It's crazy, honestly, it really is. Again, with the petty stuff. So you're gonna wake up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll have Firewatch for an hour a night. The first week or two, you're gonna have Firewatch every single night. That's just how they do it. I don't really know why they'll put 6 people on Firewatch, 3 for each squad mate. That's how they did it for us anyways. And then after that, they'll shorten it down. They'll cut it in half. They'll put it in 3 people on Firewatch altogether. So you'll have Firewatch every other night, and that lasts an hour. But the problem is that you have to wake up a little bit before your Firewatch so that you can get dressed. You get dressed in full camis. And then, you know, it takes a little bit of time to get undressed too, and then fall back asleep. So that's a good bit of time that you're missing out of your sleep. Also, when you hit the racks at 2100, that's 9 o'clock. When you hit the racks, you get 1 hour or 55 minutes, because for the first 5 minutes after you hit the racks, you lay down in your bed at the position of attention. All right, so your head is off of the pillow, your thumbs are by your side on your trouser seam, and your heels are together, and you don't freaking move for 5 minutes. So after that 5 minutes, then you're free to stretch, study, or sleep. That is it. You're not allowed to do anything else in your racks. So now, if you're willing to risk it, you can, you know, do other crap like read letters, write letters, or, you know, fill out your chits. All right, but that's up to you. If you get caught, that could be an integrity violation, and you could get sent home. I'm not saying that they will. I'm saying it's a very probable chance that you will be sent home for an integrity violation. Also, you'll wake up. PT is the first thing. After PT, you'll shower. Then, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You'll get all of that. But when you go into the field, they'll give you a few MREs. Don't eat them all at once. All right, chow's continuous. So when you go on your hike, keep a snack or something in your pocket and just kind of eat it as you go. But don't eat everything at once, because then later on in the day you're going to be starving. So OCS, it's going to have all that really petty stuff. They're trying to break your body down. They're trying to break your mind down. So you just kind of have to put up with it for a little while. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Like I said, I'll go into other videos, or I'll make other videos going into other details about more of what you actually do at OCS. But like I said, this is a pretty good general overview. You just have to go in expecting that it's really going to be horrible. And don't expect to learn a lot either. It's not really a training experience. It's more of a tryout, right? So they call it training, but if you know anything about sports, there's spring training. And in spring training, that's when they bring the new guys on the team, or the people who are trying out for the team, and they pretty much go for several weeks, and each week somebody makes the cut and somebody else doesn't make the cut. They get sent home. So OCS is more of a tryout. Don't go in expecting to learn a lot. I expected to learn all these new things, which you'll learn some, but it's more of them trying to separate the weak from the strong. That's how it is. And I gotta go back next year, so hopefully I can keep it up. But you'll do all of your learning and training at TBS, and after you get back from your first 6 weeks, get back home and try and learn as much Marine Corps knowledge as you can. Look at the Commandant's reading list and try to expose yourself all the time. You'll learn at OCS that you have to be a sponge, right? So you'll learn something new and then immediately go into a practical application like right after you take the class. there's not really any time to study. So the academics, they sound easy, but a lot of guys got screwed on academics because there's just no time to study. You literally have to hear something once and then be able to do it. You just got to turn around and remember everything you just heard and understand exactly how to do it. So it's really, really hard. Don't expect it to be super easy. You will fail at something. Everybody does. So I mean that's pretty much what I have for you right now. And I hope this does a lot of you some justice. I hope this kind of sparks up new questions for you guys to ask me. I'd love to answer them. I can put together a list of specific questions I can answer in another video. But yeah, this pretty much concludes this one. And yeah, I hope it sounds like something that you want to do. Just because it's hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, right? Because it's only 10 or 6 weeks or 12 weeks, depending on how you want to look at it. So it's, pain is temporary, but quitting is forever. So the actual Marine Corps is going to be so much better than what it seems like at OCS. So don't let this discourage you in any way, because you got to look at it as when you come out, you're going to be so much stronger than you were when you came in. And that's the whole point. So just because, don't be like that guy who I was there with, who thought it was going to be fun and decided to drop out because it was hard, right? Like, this is the freaking Marine Corps. This is the military. They're training you to go and fight and win. That's the whole purpose of it. So yeah, just go in expecting the right things and you'll do fine.